Hey everybody, so this is Pastor Battles with another episode of Chicken Stew from me to you. And I'm back out here at the park. About 30 minutes ago, I noticed a homeless guy sitting out on a park bench. And that's no big deal because here in Huntsville, Alabama, believe it or not, there's a big population of homeless people. And I say believe it or not because if you do your research, Huntsville is one of the most affluent, biggest growing cities in all of America right now. So with that being said, there's still great poverty here in this town. Well, I walked up to him. This is something I do. Notice I don't just teach it in my sermons and in my lectures that giving is a requirement of God's people. I don't just teach it. I live this thing, right? And whenever I'm in the park and I've got cash on me, which even that's not an excuse because I go to the bank and I get denominations of 5s and 10s whenever I'm withdrawing money. So I've always got something to give somebody because I know that I'm going to run into somebody that has less than me. I walked up to the fella and I gave him some money, right? And he gladly took the money. I mean, he would be foolish not to. Although, on my next Chicken Stew from me to you, I might just share with you the story of how last week I was trying to share some money with another homeless young lady, and both times on 2 different occasions, she looked at the money and threw it on the ground. Hey, whatever. But anyway, he took the money and slid it in his pocket. And as I was about to walk off, the Spirit said, now ask him to pray with you. Because what he needs more than money is prayer. He's living on a park bench. He's got a big old duffel bag on a park bench with him. No shoes on. Black dude. Looks like a handsome guy if he could get himself put together. And when I asked him if he'd like to pray, he said, pray for me in the spirit, bruh. Basically what he was saying was, I'm not interested. Because why would you not be embarrassed to take money from a grown man? You a grown man and you living as a grown man in the middle of a downtown park. But you're ashamed to pray with me? Wow. And then the Holy Spirit spoke to me as I walked off. And he said to me, that's why he's living on the park bench. And I looked back up to God like, what you mean? And he said to me, think about it, Andre. He was able to acquire or chase after material things. It might have been drugs. Those material things could have been alcohol. I don't know. It could have been sex. Who knows? He might have had money at one time and he might have been chasing with his energies cars, houses, property. I don't know. And God says, just like he was willing to take that money from you that you offered him, he was willing to take whatever life offered him in the form of material things. But the fact that he's on that bench, the Lord continued to say, is an indication that he never learned to acquire spiritual things. Wow. And the evidence of it is the fact that when I offered him prayer, he declined. Brothers and sisters, I just want you to stop and think about something very realistic at this point in your life. I don't know where you are, but I want you to think about why you are in the situation you are in. Because there was some material thing that you were chasing, whether it was drugs, marijuana, alcohol, cigarettes. It might have been the material aspect of sexual energy with men and women, sexual relationships. And if you want to be real, that's a material thing. We may have been chasing money, the fast life, the good life, like they said, right? And we were pursuing it and chasing it to such a degree that we forgot or just didn't care to chase the spiritual things. And that's why we find ourselves in the predicament that we're in as of right now. No money, about to be put out of our homes because we've been served eviction notices. Our spouses left us because perhaps we weren't paying enough attention to them. We never found a good husband or wife because we were focused on the material things outside of relationships. Relationships that would edify and uplift. I want you to stop and think about why that gentleman was sitting on a park bench at about 45 years old. And why you right now in your late 30s, in your early 50s, in your mid 40s, in your early 20s, have not gotten yourself together yet. What were you chasing? Brothers and sisters, this is Pastor Andre Battles with another episode of Chicken Stew from me to you. And by God's grace, I'll see you right here again on Monday morning.